It is the middle of June. You walk into the grocery store and there is a table near the produce section piled with mangoes. Some are green gold, some are blushed with red, some are small and stubby, some are long and tapered. You pick one up. You squeeze it the way you have always squeezed a peach or an avocado, looking for that little give under your thumb. It feels right. Soft, but not too soft. You buy 3 of them, $1.50 each, carry them home in a paper bag, and let them sit on the counter for 2 days like you were told to. Saturday morning, you cut the first one open in front of your family. The flesh near the seed is stringy and sour. The flesh near the skin is mushy and fermented, almost boozy in smell. You cut the second one open, hoping for better luck. Same thing, just in a different place on the fruit. Out of 3 mangoes you squeezed and trusted, only one was any good, and even that one was only good on one side. You feed the worst of it to the compost bin, and your children look at you like you have failed them. Now I want you to sit with this. The squeeze test did not fail you because you were careless. It failed you because the squeeze test was never the right test to begin with, not for mango. A mango does not ripen the way a peach ripens or the way an avocado ripens, soft all the way through, evenly, from the outside in. A mango ripens in patches. The flesh near the stem ripens first. The flesh near the bottom ripens last. The skin can feel perfectly soft in one place and be raw and starchy 3 inches away. So when you squeeze a mango and trust what your thumb tells you, you are only getting the truth about one small patch of fruit, not the whole story. That is why so many people walk away from mango thinking it is a gamble. It was never a gamble. It is a fruit that has to be read a different way entirely, and almost nobody in the modern grocery store was ever taught how. I am Ezra Bowman. I farm in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, and my wife Leah grew up working a produce stand with her mother, the same stand where my own mother used to buy from her family for 40 years before that. Mango does not grow here, not in our climate, but a farmer's wife learns to read every fruit that crosses her table, because the produce stand sold whatever came up from Florida and Texas in the warm months, and Leah's mother taught her to read a mango with her hands the same careful way she read a melon or a peach. I bought 15 mangoes this week, 15 different ones, different sizes, different colors, different firmness, laid them all out on the table. And I am going to walk you through what we found and the 8 old tests that tell you the truth about a mango before you ever cut into it. The stem end, the smell, the wrinkle, the give, the weight, the shape, the freckle, and the shoulder. By the end of this, you will never squeeze a mango and hope again. You will know. One thing before I get into the tests, the old methods I share on this channel, there is too much of it to fit into any single video, so I have put the longer version together at my website, EzraBowman.com, for the folks who want it. I will not mention it again here. If you want it, you know where to look. Now let me show you how the old folks read a mango. Test number 1, and this might be the most important one of all, is the smell at the stem end. Turn the mango so the small dried nub where it was cut from the tree faces you, and bring it close to your nose. Breathe in right at that spot. A ripe mango will give off a warm, sweet, almost honeyed smell right there at the stem, sometimes with a faint hint of pine or wine underneath it. That smell is the sugar inside the fruit, pushing its way out through the skin at the one place where the skin is thinnest, right where the stem broke away. If you smell that sweetness, the fruit behind it is ready. If you smell nothing at all, no sweetness, just the plain green smell of skin, the fruit is not ready yet, and you should leave it on the shelf for another few days at home. And if you smell something sour, almost like fermented wine or vinegar, set it down and do not buy it. That mango has already turned. The sugars have started breaking down into alcohol the way fruit does when it sits too long. The nose does not lie about a mango the way the thumb does. The sweetness has to escape somewhere, and it escapes first at the stem. Test number 2 is the wrinkle near the shoulder. Look at the skin right where the mango curves out from the stem, the part we call the shoulder. A ripe mango, depending on the variety, will often show very fine wrinkle lines in the skin right at that shoulder, almost like the fine lines at the corner of an old woman's eye when she smiles. That wrinkling means the fruit has lost a small amount of moisture through the skin, as the inner flesh converted starch into sugar, which is exactly what you want. A mango that is rock smooth and tight as a drum at the shoulder, with no give in the skin at all, is very often still green inside, still starchy, still days away. You are not looking for deep wrinkles. Those mean it has gone too far, and the flesh underneath may be drying out or turning. You are looking for that first faint crinkle, the kind you almost have to tilt the fruit to the light to see. Test number 3 is the color, and this is where most people go wrong, because color depends entirely on the variety, and almost nobody at the grocery store tells you which variety you are holding. A Tommy Atkins mango stays mostly green with a red blush even when fully ripe inside. A honey or Ataulfo mango turns a deep golden yellow with almost no red at all. A Kent mango can be green gold with just a faint blush. If you judge every mango by the same rule, looking for deep red or deep yellow no matter what, you will pass over perfectly ripe mangoes and pick green ones by mistake. The old rule Leah's mother taught her was simpler than color. Whatever the base color of that variety is, you want it to look deep and rich for its kind, not pale and flat. A pale, washed-out version of any mango's color, no matter what that color is supposed to be, means it picked too early. The depth of the color matters more than the particular shade. Test number 4 is the give, and yes, we are coming back to it, because the give is not useless, it has just been used wrong. Instead of pressing once in the middle the way most people do, cup the whole mango gently in your palm and press all over it lightly with your fingers, the way you would press a loaf of bread to check if it is fresh, not the way you press one single point. You are checking the whole fruit, not one patch. A ripe mango will give slightly everywhere you press, and even softness from the shoulder down to the bottom tip. If one section presses soft and another section presses hard as a green apple, that mango is unevenly ripe, soft in one place, raw in another, exactly the disappointment my family had with the first mango we cut open this week. The whole point of doing the test this way is that a single squeeze in the center tells you almost nothing. The whole hand wrapped around the whole fruit tells you everything. Test number 5 is the weight. Pick up the mango and heft it the way you would heft an orange, then pick up a second one close to the same size and heft that one too. A ripe, juicy mango will feel heavier in your hand than you expect for its size. The same as a ripe watermelon does, because the flesh inside has filled out with juice and sugar. A light mango for its size has either dried out on the inside from sitting too long after it ripened, or it never developed properly on the tree, and the flesh stayed thin and fibrous around the seed. Heavy for its size every time is the better fruit. Before I go on to the last 3 tests, let me pause a moment. Every home has leaks, food, heat, water, electricity, laundry, repairs, and waste. Inside our Amish home saving system and community, Leah and I help you find those leaks and start fixing them one by one. The link is in the description. Now the last 3 tests, the ones the careful old produce sellers always checked and the casual shopper always misses. Test number 6 is the shape, particularly at the shoulder above the stem. On a well-developed mango, the shoulder rises up plump and rounded, sometimes even slightly higher than the stem itself, almost like a small rounded hill rising up beside the stem. That plump shoulder means the seed inside developed fully and the flesh built up thick and generous all around it. A mango with a flat or sunken shoulder, where the skin dips down toward the stem instead of rising up, usually has thinner flesh and a seed that takes up more of the fruit than it should. Between 2 mangoes of the same size, the one with the higher, rounder shoulder will almost always have more flesh and a sweeter eating experience because the tree had the energy and the time to fill that fruit out completely before it was picked. Test number 7 is the freckle, the small black or brown speckled dots you sometimes see scattered across the skin. Some folks see those dots and think the fruit has gone bad, and they walk right past it. They have it backwards. Those freckles are sugar spots, the same idea as the brown flecks you see on a ripe banana. They form on the skin as the sugars inside the fruit rise to their peak. little pinpricks of concentrated sweetness pushing right up to the surface. A mango with a scattering of fine freckles across an otherwise healthy-looking skin, no soft rot, no mushy patches, just freckles, is very often one of the sweetest mangoes in the whole pile. The trick is telling a sugar freckle from actual decay. A sugar freckle is dry, flat, and does not give under your finger. A spot of rot is soft, sometimes slightly sunken, and will smell sour if you bring it close to your nose. Learn the difference, and those freckled mangoes that everyone else avoids become the ones you specifically hunt for. Test number 8 is the stem itself, the little dried nub at the top. If you look closely, sometimes you will see a tiny bead of dried, hardened sap right at the stem, almost like a small drop of dried honey or amber. That dried sap means the fruit was allowed to fully mature and was cut from the tree at the right moment, letting its own sap seal the wound naturally. A stem with no sap at all and a clean, almost too tidy cut often means the fruit was picked very early and forced to ripen off the tree in a warehouse, which is exactly the kind of mango that ripens unevenly the way our first one did this week. Now I want to take a moment because this is where it all comes together. Look at what we have just walked through. The smell at the stem, sweet not sour. The wrinkle at the shoulder, fine not deep. The color, deep for its variety, not pale. The give, even across the whole fruit, not just the center. The weight, heavier than expected for the size. The shape, a plump, rounded shoulder, not flat or sunken. The freckle, dry sugar spots, not soft rot. The stem, a small bead of dried sap, not a clean forced cut. Out of the 15 mangoes on our table, only 4 passed every one of these tests, and every single one of those 4 cut open deep gold all the way through, sweet at the stem and sweet at the tip. No stringy patches, no sour spots. The 11 that failed one test or another each had a flaw somewhere inside that matched exactly what the skin had been telling us the whole time. And here is what I want you to know about why this knowledge faded. There is no money in teaching folks how to read a mango. The store does not benefit from a careful shopper who only buys the 4 good ones out of 15. They would rather you grab whichever one is closest to the front of the bin, never knowing which variety you are even holding, and trust a squeeze test that was only ever designed for peaches and avocados to begin with. So the knowledge that used to pass from a produce seller to a regular customer, from a mother to a daughter standing beside her at the stand, slowly stopped being passed down at all, and a whole country of shoppers now squeezes mangoes in the middle, hopes for the best, and blames bad luck when the fruit disappoints them. You do not have to hope. The tree left its fingerprints on every mango before it was ever picked. The smell, the wrinkle, the freckle, the shoulder. Read the fingerprints and you will bring home a sweet mango every time. So here is what I want you to do this week. Go to your grocery store or your local market and find the mango table. Pick up 3 or 4. Smell the stem end on each one. Press the whole fruit in your palm, not just the center. Look at the shoulder and look for freckles. Pick the one that passes the most tests. Let your family taste the difference between that one and an ordinary squeeze-tested mango. Once they taste deep gold flesh that is sweet from the stem all the way to the tip, they will never let you bring home a stringy, patchy mango again, and the children will start smelling the stem end right along with you the next time you are at the store together. Tell me in the comments below which of these 8 tests you had never heard of before. The freckle, the shoulder, the dried sap at the stem. And if your mother or your grandmother had her own way of choosing a mango at the market, share it below. Those little family tricks are exactly the kind of knowledge that disappears when nobody writes it down. Next time, since we have been speaking about reading the fruit you bring home, I am going to show you the old way my people choose a ripe cantaloupe, the sound test, the netting pattern, and the blossom end give that tells you everything a melon will not say with color alone. It is the natural next step after today. Until then, smell the stem, press the whole fruit in your palm, and remember that the tree wrote its own honest report on every good mango it ever grew. You just have to know where to read it.